Hello everybody, we are back, first show of the year, and we cannot thank you guys enough for the love that you've shown to us so far. The comments, the agreements, and the disagreements, of course. And guess what, guys? We need you guys to bring much more this year. So please tell your friends, your family members to follow and subscribe as well. Even if they don't like football, guess what? IBK is single. They might like IBK. Inyobon is looking like it's added a few pounds. IBK is now using premium bed oil because the beard on the grow and it's fresh. Wale cannot put two sentences together without saying my wife. But we love it though. Yeah. We absolutely love it. It's a new year, guys. Welcome.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. First recorded show. I know we've been on Instagram Live. Yeah. It's been fantastic, and we must say thank you to our fans, our supporters, the Instagram likes, the followers, and we really appreciate it because I think it's been a good time, just having those engagements online. The Insta Live has been absolutely amazing.
You guys can't keep your home training.
You're
misbehaving everywhere on Instagram Live.
But it's great to be here on the table of men. That's what my wife calls it. Table of men.
I think Wale should have gone first, right? Yeah. He's a newly wedded guy. Wale, talk to us about, he's been
family man.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I was here, I was single.
Yeah. Come on. Give it up, guys. Give it up.
And
cheers to the married life.
It was, we clocked a month 2 days ago. It's been lovely.
Wait, a month already?
Yeah, it's been a month already.
What are you thinking? I hope you're not thinking what I'm thinking.
A month.
It's been amazing.
IBK, what's going on with your baby now?
I never.
You really touch and come that IG live. So I called IBK on the IG live, right? He sent a request and I accepted it. IBK came in like this.
I don't even know say the bear is on grow like that actually, but
you didn't put something, Sha?
No, I don't put anything.
Okay. Twitter is back. Twitter is back, guys.
Shout out to Boo Boo.
Big shout out to Boo Boo.
People say they wait for the guy first tweets.
But I think they need him more than us. That's why they had to bring it back.
Yeah,
it's a year to the election. They need
that's
to
basically what everybody's saying.
Twitter influencers.
Yeah, that's basically what everybody's saying.
That's what's happening.
That's the only logical explanation. Why lift the ban now? And I mean, I can't confirm it, but information out there is that
Twitter did not agree to their
also
a part of the agreement was that I think they should have a physical
office
in there.
We never see
they don't have any.
They'll pay tax. They'll abide to the rules of the CAC.
Maybe they don't do foundation for the office. Maybe they build that correctly. So we don't know. Also, I think they said it basically have cost a fortune to ban Twitter or to keep Twitter off not working in Nigeria. Somebody did the analysis. I think it's been about $1 billion. That's why I can't confirm it. But I think it said it's about $1 billion.
Yeah. I think so.
I saw 54 billion naira. Yes.
Wow. Well, perfect way to start the year, the AFCON. I think it's been interesting. Bar the game yesterday, Mali, Tunisia. And we're going to talk about that, but we have to talk about the Super Eagles first. Right? The game against Egypt. Inyobon was it became a victim of Instagram bullies.
I was in the mud. But
where is that bros?
And rightfully so. And people tend to forget that I'm Nigerian, and I don't think anyone, even as malicious as they can be in their imagination, would think that I would have wanted Nigeria to lose. Of course I wanted Nigeria to win. I screamed my neighborhood down when Kelechi Iheanacho smashed that one into the top corner. And I was very happy. And like I said in the video that went out yesterday, I don't think I've seen Nigeria play that well in a very long time. It was, it was the sort of performance that you can describe as near perfect in terms of how we conducted ourselves, the way we approached the game. I'm not seeing Nigeria that efficient on the ball. We held the ball, we kept it, moved it around, we dominated the game from start to finish, and it was so good to see.
So it felt like the team showed some qualities that we maybe didn't see under the previous manager. So
exactly.
What worked?
I feel like tactically, and I said this yesterday, that even if we had lost that game, tactically you could see that there was a plan.
There was something different.
Yeah, there was a plan, and I never saw that under General for the time he was in charge. So I was really impressed with how we were able to marshal the defense. There were a lot of changes in the defense, the right back, even the centre back as well. But you could see that there was a plan. And there was a plan to stop the talisman of Egypt, who is Mohamed Salah. Up front, there was a bit of disorganization. The wingers didn't really put in a lot of balls for Awoni.
Yeah.
But at least there was a plan. And players who we thought could not even play in certain positions. We saw Aribo playing in the two.
Yeah, big shout out to Joe
and
Aribo.
he did fantastically well.
Big shout out to Joe Aribo,
You know,
because
so I'm really impressed. Even if we don't go on to win the tournament or we crash out in the quarterfinal or whatever, the fact that we can see a pattern, we can see that the boys are being effectively utilized. Let them give this guy the job.
Like I was telling a friend, I said I think we should stick to the Nigerian coaches. Like someone was,
So they should sack Jose
no,
Peseiro.
the thing is that someone was saying that, you know, when you want to talk to the likes of Awoni, Iheanacho, you know, you go meet them, say, Gafa, we need this game.
So a foreign coach cannot do that. So
if you look at the last AFCON as well, I won't say that Keshi was, you know, a tactical specialist. You know, I won't say that he knows so well about, you know, formations, and I all respect to Stephen Keshi, but I think it boils down to how well you can convey your information.
They played for him.
I disagree with you, not because you're entirely
when it comes to
wrong.
African football.
I disagree not because you're entirely wrong. I think the way you're putting is a bit of a disservice to the local coaches that you're advocating for.
Yeah, exactly.
Because what you're saying is that on the tactical side of the game, they are not so good.
Astute.
But because they speak the same language, you know, it can work better.
The way African football works.
I see what IBK is trying to say. And to a certain degree, it can work, because when you have a local coach who can communicate in your language, it's great. You know, there's a way I can set you up as a Nigerian. You know, when you tell a Yoruba person, weary, you know, you call him mad, you know, there's a way it gets to him than if you were to tell him, you look stupid. You know, as in, there's a way it gets to him.
That way, you can even take it as a compliment. But you see that
the anomaly is the guy that has won the AFCON with Zambia and Ivory Coast.
Exactly. So as much as I agree that there might be there might be a language barrier, but you see this narrative of, you know, the local coaches are doing better. I don't actually think it's because the foreign guys can't speak the language.
No,
I think
not.
I think it has been the choice of foreign
I was going to
managers.
say that, we've gotten the worst of the worst.
Do you understand?
This guy,
they say he don't get many experience in 3 decades. It'd be like saying a bad experience.
One of our colleagues tweeted that. He said
You don't start.
I won't mention his name, but the guy said that, but with the Cameroon now, we don't define our new coach style. I don't even tell Messi.
Say, where did they observe from?
Where did they observe from?
Where did they observe? It'd be like saying
of course, he doesn't need to be in Cameroon.
No, that was what it was said, that he would be around the team.
Cameroon.
Yes.
Okay.
There's also
maybe for the final.
But we cannot say he's not around in Cameroon.
no, we cannot say. But just
Because
say
the camera has maybe
if
he's
around,
in the
if
stadium.
he's around,
He go
obviously,
don't touch base for training camp.
Of
At least
course.
once.
maybe
Of
he's
course.
self-isolating. But anyways, I think the Nigerian game, what makes the game more satisfying, the win, is when you see how the favorites or the so-called favorites have performed also. So we saw Algeria, they struggled. Senegal, 89-minute penalty. So, and people didn't really feel like the Super Eagles were up for the AFCON. So it was like, okay, if Senegal can struggle this way, Algeria didn't win their first game, so maybe the Super Eagles have got a real chance. So the conversation would be, is there enough in the game against the Egypt game to say that the Super Eagles are good enough to go all the way?
No, I don't think you can say that, because in the end it's still one game, and it was against the Egyptian national team. And make no mistake about it, the Super Eagles went into that game as underdogs.
Yeah.
They go into the game against Sudan as favorites, and sometimes the pressure going into a game as favorites can really tell. And we need to see how they play against Sudan. We need to see that complacency is not allowed to set in, because we beat Egypt, we played so well against Egypt. I mean, in the end, you could think it could have easily been 3-0. We could have beaten Egypt so comfortably.
Yeah.
So let's see how they approach the game against Sudan. Maybe we can start talking from there, because you can talk about Senegal struggling against a well-drilled Zimbabwean side. You can talk about Algeria struggling against Sierra Leone. But in the end,
even Cameroon struggled against
Burkina Faso.
Yeah.
But these are teams who tactically they are a notch ahead. You know, they can turn things on,
and they have experience as well.
Exactly. They've got a lot of experience. They've got a lot of quality players who can really turn things on later on in the competition. Because I look at the Super Eagles side and I'm not the bad guy, you know.
You are.
I'm not the bad guy, but
IBK definitely disagrees.
I'm not the bad guy, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to bring the roof down and think we can win the Nations Cup.
You know the funny thing, I was on one of the Ghana TVs during the Super Eagles game, and there was a prediction. I didn't even know. I got in late, so I heard that one of the Ghanaian guy predicted that Nigeria was going to win 2-0. Then when they brought me on, I was like, I think if we get a draw, I think it will be a fantastic result for the Super Eagles. And they said, wow, even Nigerians don't believe in themselves and all those. I think we are not seeing how good the team is, to be honest. We are not seeing that. Like the guy said that if you look at the Nigerian setup, I think we have most of our players, practically all our players, they play in top leagues in Europe. That's the truth. These guys are experienced. This guy play a tougher competition than AFCON. I said it that what Eguavon needs is just to talk to the boys. The structure is there already. It's just like
what structure?
Let me counter.
There's a structure. I said you don't know. You cannot take away what General has done to this team. I said it before that Ra has brought in stability to this team in sense that Nigerians now believe that Super Eagles can do something. That's enough already.
Saying the team can do something is
let me tell you something. You have teams that have had coaches for a long time. Eguavon came
that structure there.
Do you understand?
That structure.
You didn't see Raw's footprint on this particular team.
I didn't see it in Egypt. I didn't see it against Egypt.
That's a big lie.
No. Can you confirm a few things? Let me say some things and see if you can confirm.
Okay.
If Ghana was in charge against Egypt, do you think Alex Iwobi would have started?
Yes.
I said that we would have practically won this game.
Awazen will be a right back.
We'll win Egypt. Egypt is not.
Wait now. Let me continue now.
You get Awazen most likely will be a right back.
He plays a line now as well.
We know now. We're just saying that most likely because of the threats that the Egyptians will pose on the wings. Most likely Awazen will start at right back.
Yeah.
I think Leon Balogun didn't play because of
Leon Balogun is
injured.
He's not in the
You understand? Okay, that's fine. Surprisingly, and this one is going to be like I'm joking, it is actually very possible that Francis Nzor will start.
No. He has moved on from that.
Do you know what I like about Nigerians? And that's the way our position gets to us as well. We easily forget the past. If I give you biscuit now waiting you go remember, say, this bros give me biscuit today. You don't forget everything where I don't do you. That's what we are doing. This same General, his first appearance at the AFCON, we got to the semi-finals of the competition.
Now you can't forget.
You guys are talking as if we crashed out, in group stage. I'll tell you for free that Raw will have easily won this competition.
What was Raw tactical approach to games? That's what I want to know. What was it? Do you know? Tell me.
African football, I'll say it and I'll say it over again, is more of
motivation.
Motivation than bringing tactics into it.
No. Hold on. Against Egypt, when you play against Egypt,
you tell me I don't have an approach.
Obviously, when you play against Egypt,
no, I'd like to ask IBK.
We must Salah on the pitch. What you want to do is
you are shooting yourself. Now you're saying that General does not have an approach, right? So
I'm asking you to tell me. I don't know. You tell me what it is.
IBK, wait. In your one, finish what you were going to say.
When you play against Egypt, what you want to do is, in your head, except you're out of your mind, what you want to do is, how do we nullify the effect of Salah? Not just stopping Salah. How do we nullify the effect? The effects cannot be, how do we stop Salah? How do we even stop supply to Salah? How do we ensure that they don't play around Salah? How do we do that? Now, that's a plan. That's approaching a game in a very tactical way.
Now, let me ask.
Salah didn't have a sniff in that game, not because we were marking Salah. It was because the structure around it.
But let me ask you,
didn't allow Salah.
That thing that you said about African football is much more about motivation, not about tactics, power play. On what basis are you saying that? On what basis are you saying that African football is not so much about tactics and?
Now, I'll bring in the issue of Genaro. A lot of people believe that, this man he doesn't really interpret the game. He doesn't really understand whatever tactics or formation he needs to use. And if you can qualify this man like this, then how did he now get us to the semi-finals of the AFCON?
You are not answering my question.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That I want to now agree that okay, Genaro is not tactically sound. It doesn't. If someone like that can get us to the semi-finals of the AFCON, we're so close to getting to the finals.
Yep, but we didn't do.
Then we're so close. Then you now agree with me that AFCON is more of how well you can explain what you want to your players, how you want them to approach the game in terms of power play. Because I think that was what got us.
So you're saying
Egypt.
that you don't need any tactical approach?
No, you need tactical approach. Fine.
What was tactical approach? That's what I'm asking you. What was tactical approach in games?
He's been asking that for a long time.
What was tactical approach in games? Give me an answer.
Tell me. I don't dislike Genaro. I think he did a decent job.
Yes,
with the Eagles.
Very decent.
But the angle you are coming from, you have to also now remember that the AFCON that you're talking about, we got to the semi-final and we didn't get to the final. I personally believe, and I always say that I always back it up, Genaro was the reason we lost to Algeria. Against Argentina at the World Cup, Genaro was the reason we lost.
Come on.
So guess what? And let me now prove it to you, the difference. Against Algeria, you had players on the pitch that literally looked like they were about to faint. Yeah. And Genaro didn't make a change. It was the same thing. Now, guess what? I don't know if you can remember. I don't know if we
watched the Argentina game.
I don't know if I remember this. I was screaming, take out Idowu. What's that guy's name?
Yeah, Brian
Idowu. Yeah. I was literally screaming, take out Idowu and bring in someone else.
He was
because
running
Idowu
on empty.
Jonathan, he didn't make a change until that cross came in and Argentina scored the goal that knocked us out eventually. Now compare that to a Guavon against Egypt. 70th minute or 70-something minutes, Taiwo Awoniyi was out for Sadiq Umar. Ejike came in as well.
Freshen up the team.
Already there's a difference.
Should I tell you something? Genaro, like someone was saying on Twitter, that I think if a coach stays long with a team, I think no, he begins to have this mentality of these are the guys I trust.
No, but that's even very naive to say.
That's
even very naive.
You know why? Well. No. Genaro started. He had a fantastic start. He started well.
I think what I think was that we were at zero level when he came.
When he came,
he was zero.
So when he did a good job, he did such a very good job.
That's what I'm saying. That Genaro got to a point that Eguavoen might get to that point too as well.
When he gets there, we'll say
when you use particular players over and over again, you get results.
Where Genaro
No, that's different.
Where Genaro got to was the max for him.
Was the max for him? Do you know why? It wasn't about these are the players I trust.
Okay, you think he wouldn't have won this AFCON?
It's not about winning. It's the fact that he can't progress the team more than where he took the team to. That's it.
Listen, a top manager knows, most especially when you play top teams, every top team can get into first, second gear. Some even third, depending on how deep the squad is. So when you are now playing a game and you're playing against Algeria, who have been so good in the tournament, and you can see that, look, in the second half, these guys can go into the second gear if they want. You have players on the pitch that were so tired. There are players, I can mention it. We had an interview with one of the Super Eagles players on our radio show, and he said some things off air that we cannot even, talk about right now. With how Genaro manages teams, he did a fantastic job, no doubt. But in terms of game management, just managing the game, the same way if you have stayed with a team for so long, you should know the strength and the weaknesses of every single player on your team.
Fact.
You should know the players that can't play 90 minutes, at the same level. You should know players that can't even play 60 minutes at the same level. Do you understand? So you should know when you make those changes. And Genaro, I'll keep effectively, he lost us that game against Argentina and the game against Algeria.
I remember the Argentina game very freshly because I watched it with Olakule somewhere in VI. I remember Olakule was screaming his lungs out, take this guy out, make substitutions. And if Olakule is thousands of kilometers away from Russia and the manager is sat by the touchline and can't see that, he can only tell me that he's a bit reactive, because as a top manager, you're supposed to preempt things. You're supposed to see things before even the fan sees it. You watch a game and he's not doing well. And the next time the manager, the board comes up for substitution and they're taking the player off. As a manager who understands the game, he's seeing what the fan can see.
But you know, top manager.
No, hold on, IBK. Okay. You sound like we're slandering Gernot Rohr.
No, that's not what it is.
I'm not going to sit on a table where you slander someone like that because I thought he did a very decent job. I think more than decent. Yeah. Under the circumstance, because like Wale said, we're zero. The guy came,
he did a fantastic job.
Fantastic job.
No, but I've always said it on this show.
No, you were sounding like forgotten what
you
did.
Now we're on the same page.
The day the sport minister insulted,
you can now shake.
The day the sport minister insulted, because that your page now ain't got 40 the pass range. I know what day your page, Baba. The day the sport minister insulted, we said it here that it shouldn't happen. But I don't think we can even dwell on the Super Eagles against Sudan. You said it already. Let's see the body language. Let's see how they approach the Sudan game. Then maybe we can begin to take them, serious or as one of the favorites for the AFCON. But I think we need to talk about how the AFCON has gone so far. The temperament, if you like, it's been 1-0. I think about 8 of the 12 games that have been played, I've been decided by just 1 goal. And I was just thinking.
Total now, but I think
we've had 9-1-0s out of 12 games.
Out of 12 games.
But I want to say something quickly. I think that personally, there were 2 penalties in the first game against Burkina Faso, thoroughly deserved. Yeah. And all the penalties I've seen so far, I don't like the fact that people are now using this one situation to now paint the AFCON.
No, that's not what we're doing. I'm
talking about the penalty, the Tunisia.
Mali. We're going to get. I was even going to say that I was just thinking maybe one of the reasons why it's been boring to a lot of people is because it's now the 24-team format. Previously, when you had the 16 teams, the bigger boys will face themselves quicker. So now you have the big boys playing the smaller teams a lot more before the big boys now play each other.
And when a smaller team, let's say Sierra Leone go into a game against Algeria, where you've got Mahrez, you've got Sofiane
Benrahma,
you've got the big players.
Bufala is a
Moroccan. What you want to do as Sierra Leone is we're going to be compact.
Yeah.
They can have the ball all they want, but we're going to ensure that we are not allowing them dominance in the key areas, the final third of the pitch. And that's what Sierra Leone did. And credit to them, they got a point out of it.
And at the back of the mind of those teams, they know that if I can get 2 draws, there's 4 slots for best loser.
Sierra Leone goes into a game and say, let's play 50-50. Egypt will beat them 6-0.
They're going to get beat.
Over really 5.5. I can guarantee you that. They will beat them silly. Now, when Algeria play against Super Eagles, or play against Cameroon, or play against, let's say, Senegal, nobody's sitting back. So Lakule makes a brilliant point. When it was a 16-game tournament, you see a lot of goals because the bigger boys play each other quickly. But now the smaller teams, with due respect to the Comoros, the Sierra Leones, I saw a Gambia game yesterday and I thought I was very impressed with Gambia.
Each other and we only saw one goal as well. So Nigeria and Egypt.
Teams are still sizing each other up, And I must say that I've been very disappointed with sometimes I know Africans generally we struggle with our technique. Technically we are not that great. We have pace.
You say this part of Africa.
No. A lot. Yeah, maybe this part of Africa.
I think North Africans.
The North Africans are a little better.
They have that.
Because I've looked at the tournament. I'm seeing players trying to shoot from 40 yards.
I became a
like the South African League
on the live. No, but I think that this AFCON, at least I've been able to see teams string 4-5 passes.
Exactly.
This one is better.
Honestly, I'm impressed.
This one is better.
I saw it.
Bro, the last AFCON was worse.
Yeah.
They couldn't. You could see professional players that can't make three passes.
No, but what game have you guys enjoyed the most? Obviously, aside from the
I think it's
Super Eagles,
it's the first game of competition.
The Tunisia Guinea Mali game yesterday was a very good game of football. It was a very good game of football until the referee decided to lose his mind.
What was going on with that guy?
I don't know. I mean, I'm serious. You know, I was speaking to a friend from UAE yesterday, and you know, he said that, with due respect to Europeans, he said that if this thing happened at a European Championship, that I'm not being racist, but that the whites have a way of, you know, letting people off the hook with this kind of thing. That after the game, that a psychologist, a mental health specialist, someone would have come out and said, maybe the guy suffered a bit of, you know, they would have looked for a name and given it. You know, they would have said that maybe he was he's been depressed for a while. You know, he was a bit anxious and all of that. I found it very funny, but only that guy can explain to us what happened last night.
I've got one. Here's my theory.
Please, Olakule,
I actually
don't
think,
go there.
No. And I'm being serious.
It's his theory now.
I actually think, and please don't quote me anymore. This is just Olakule Rufai.
I hope you're not going to say that.
I actually believe that at halftime, the guy has checked his phone and there's somebody waiting for him at home. No. There's somebody waiting for him at home.
To do what?
A naked person on the bed sent in a couple explicit images coming through with slight edges.
Only this cannot go out.
Definitely going to go out.
And the guy, no, because you see, in your box said the guy is the only one that can explain. No. In your box said the guy is the only one that can explain what has happened. Me, I'm giving you my own theory because I cannot understand logically. I do not understand why the referee of a game as big as one of the games at the AFCON is in a hurry to end the game.
and guess what, Olakule? When you think about it,
someone said it was pressed, but I think there's a solution to be.
No, there's a solution to that. Legitimately, you don't need to end the game before time.
Of course, I've seen substitutions being referenced. You know, that's why you have the fourth official.
Exactly.
There were 9 substitutions in the second half. 9. Tunisia made 4 substitutions. Mali made 5.
There was a VAR
There were
review.
2 VAR checks.
Yes.
There was a water break.
Yeah.
The second half should have had at least 7 minutes stoppage time. At least.
So you see, all these things that I are saying, they are experiments to confirm my theory.
But the fact that in 2018 the guy has had an issue of allegation and corruption in the game
Giannis Ikazu.
that involves
That's his name,
Esperance
by the way.
of Tunisia, and funny enough, in that game he actually favored Esperance of Tunisia. You know, so I think that there was a bit of you know,
I thought about
money
it though.
exchange or whatever.
What sort of fixing would there have been in a game like that? Ending the game at the 86th minute and then ending it again 89th minute. What kind of fixing?
One thing I know about fixing a game that I've read a lot is that I think the other referees always know about it.
Okay.
Yeah, like you tell, I think the fourth referee, then I think one of the players in the team, there's always a connection.
Yeah.
No, but I'm not
But
saying.
this
no,
one,
no.
but
To
this
answer
one,
his
this
question,
one,
to answer his
this one,
question,
the guy, the referee was the one alone.
He was on his own.
Because I remember when VAR called for, I think, the red card, they said it was obvious that stuff. VAR called
The
him
VAR
that
told him that it wasn't a red card. He went over to the monitor
and he said no, I'm giving this.
I think that
So you
to
know,
answer his question, there was a bet that the game will be under 1.5. So he knows that one, you know, if he pass that 1-0, if another
but he
person
gave a
score,
penalty.
He gave a penalty that they missed.
And was Kazri crazy person, you know? You get penalty, score small penalty. You go kick nonsense.
yeah, but also we have to state that after everything happened, he tried to restart the game again, and the Malians came out.
He did
No.
not try.
What happened?
He
He
was
didn't
trying.
try. It was CAF that ordered.
and he was not even the one.
Yeah, but why didn't the Tunisians come out?
No, but at
No,
that
because
time,
they're thinking, look,
at
was
that
actually
time, I think in my
minutes
opinion, I mean, this is me being silly. I think that the Tunisians just knew they were not going to do
What-
anything.
what
no, but
do you
guess
do
what?
in 3
I
minutes?
actually think
What
they
do
should
you
get
want to do in
fined.
3
I actually
minutes?
think they should get
I
fined.
think they should get
You know why?
fined.
I think they should get fined.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You said the second half should have had 7 minutes extra time. So they could have played up to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And 10 minutes is more than enough time to try and look for an equalizer.
Of course.
Actually, the
what
Malians,
was it there
I'm
was
saying
that?
Malians now,
What
it's
was
sounding
it
funny in
there?
my mouth.
What was
The
it there?
Malians
Come forward.
The Malians actually came out.
But what was it there was that I think they said 3 minutes. They should come and play the remaining 3
No, but that
minutes.
doesn't make sense.
I know, 3
There
minutes.
was always going to be an extra time. So normally, if you are saying come back and play your 3 minutes, it doesn't mean they won't add extra time. That's what I
And I
think.
think
That's
Tunisia
what I
just wanted to play the card.
understand. They will play.
They wanted
The
to
referee
give
will
it.
always add extra time.
Of course, you know this. For every substitution you make,
Yes.
you're given
always
30 seconds
Yes.
to make the substitution.
And there were
If
9.
you make 9 substitutions in the second half, at that 30 seconds times 9. Then add two VAR. It was actually 3.
It was 3.
Because it was the
red card,
the red card, and the 2 penalties.
Yes.
And then there was a water break. So I mean, we're talking 10 minutes.
Yeah, 8 or 10 minutes.
You know, so you saw this the statement from CAF. I mean, what did he say?
Yeah, the CAF are saying they are gathering evidences. CAF are saying they are gathering reports from the match officials. They've collected reports. They've sent it to the necessary CAF bodies.
Okay.
And right now they are not making any statement. They are waiting for the
But
bodies.
that guy cannot officiate any game in this tournament again.
I think he should. I think he should, because that's a big gaff. That's the kind of gaff you can't look away from.
That's so embarrassing. I felt for him, really. To be very honest, I felt for him because, you know, no one knows what went through his mind.
But why did he end it in 85th minute? That first one.
The first one, I don't understand. I keep telling you guys, my theory stands.
that 89th minute, I can still
understand.
But 85th minute, why?
Well,
His watch could have been tampered with.
the guy is pressed, but not the press that you're thinking about. I think it's the other one. You know, but
Boys.
but just to quickly add before we leave the AFCON conversation, because a lot of people have criticized the AFCON. I mentioned also when we came here, the Sky Sports, the moment the referee had that issue, they posted a clip. Nigeria Egypt game was one of the best games ever. They posted a flyer. That was it.
Yeah.
How about you post a clip of Iheanacho's goal?
Yeah.
Iheanacho plays in the Premier League. You didn't do that.
Bad news.
So now it's like already this is so that's the narrative now. The AFCON that you guys are making noise about. The AFCON that you want us to release our players for.
I think they allowed everyone view, like they gave right to
this
total
can be viewed
it can't. BBC are showing some games.
Before you can't view some of their content.
No, they have the rights to the AFCON.
No, they have the rights to the AFCON
in Africa. We have to view it now.
I saw one of their clip where about AFCON, and someone was saying that they can't view something from the AFCON.
I don't know, maybe the person's VPN was on.
This one currently.
Yeah, maybe the person's VPN was on.
Yeah, maybe.
So
Bye to VPN.
Shout out to VPN, man. They came through.
We can't keep mentioning names, so you don't say VPN companies have come to sponsor Inside Podcast.
No, but great stuff.
I also wanted to mention, for all the critics, this was an AFCON that had everything going against it.
Yeah, exactly.
The COVID, the political situation in Cameroon, which also we need to add that it makes the AFCON now more very important to Cameroon because of the political situation. It feels like a unifying tournament for them. I mentioned on the live that they have at least one player from each of the 10 regions in Cameroon. Yeah. So there's a lot. Brilliant. Yeah, there's a lot riding on this particular AFCON for Cameroon. So it's a lot more than just the football tournament.
The only downside would be the experiences of our journalist friends that are
they are better
in Garua.
It's like that.
No, I think it's just normal when you go into a new
place, you don't know.
You're going to experience a little bit of difficulty.
I said on the live that I was able to talk to one Cameroonian, and he said the place they put Nigeria is just like going to just like going to KB or going to Kano State.
Our journalists are not in Yaoundé.
Yes.
They're not in Douala. And they're not making these complaints from Douala or Yaoundé.
Yes.
Please, if there was a competition in this country, can you take someone to Nasarawa or Zamfara?
True.
If you go to Zamfara, do you think that the people who come to Zamfara will always
off your mic?
do you think they will be as excited as they will be if they were in a city like Lagos or Abuja or Port Harcourt? So let's cut Cameroon some slack, Jerry.
No, let me tell you something. If they at least they will put competition in Kano, that's for sure. Do you know that there are some places? Imagine.
But Kano is a big city. I'm talking Zamfara, Nasarawa,
Maiduguri. Where the Super Eagles are in Cameroon is outskirts as well. So
that's what I'm saying.
So there is always tendency that there will be serious on development there. So I don't know why people are saying that this thing. I beg if the hotel no good. Find another hotel. I know there are always very nice hotels there. So now your money.
Nigerians. I said it on the live. Nigerians.
The guy said hotel.
Nigerians are very classy people. Nigerians are very
and they know that our country is
Nigerians are very
bad.
classy people and they are very elitist. With all our disorganization, we are quick to spot when something is not organized.
We actually know what it means for a government to run well.
Exactly. So we know.
Yeah.
With all our disorganization, if a Nigerian steps out of Nigeria and sees something that is not good, he knows it.
Yeah.
he may not have it in his country, or he may not have it at the scale that he should have it, but we know it. So when we go to Garoua and see how the players say, we start complaining, we'll read, but come back and raise arms here.
Some of our colleagues, now them go Nasarawa, go Kebi, go cover NPFL.
They don't go complain. They will not say anything.
Let's just talk about Senegal and leave AFCON alone. What's wrong with Senegal?
There's
nothing wrong with them. My brother, thank you. There's nothing wrong with Senegal. I was
talking to a colleague of mine. I said when he was praising, bashing Senegal.
You guys really believe there's nothing wrong with Senegal?
There's nothing wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong.
There's nothing about the first game of the tournament. You would want to be. Nobody wants to start on a losing note. See, you are Senegal, but you know African football. You can be playing Mozambique and Mozambique. They don't send you.
That was Zimbabwe.
I also feel like going into the tournament, they have favorites.
That was Zimbabwe's.
So
I think
too much.
If I'm not mistaken, that was Zimbabwe's second point. I think in the AFCON. Or second draw in the AFCON.
No, they didn't.
Since about 19.
They didn't get
the points.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
You asked Algeria, right?
I was talking about Algeria played
Sierra
Leone. But guess what? Senegal, they've always had a bit of a cloud over them. Nearly. They just can't nick it. They lost the final
of
to
all
Algeria.
the big teams in this AFCON, they are the only ones who have never won it.
Exactly. And guess what? They have a manager who also didn't win it with another golden generation.
Yeah,
so this feels like it. So that's why I feel like when you say there's nothing wrong with them.
No, when I say there's nothing wrong with them, I'm talking about the squad, coming to this tournament. After the first game, They had a few good chances in the first game, and if Mane took his chance, we'll not be sitting here saying that all of that, because I know they created good chances, they didn't quite take them. And credit to Zimbabwe, because I thought they were very solid as well. They didn't allow them to really have that rhythm to play, but in the end they found a way, and that's what big teams do. That's what champions do. They always find a way, whether by hook or by crook. They always find a way, and in the end they found a way. In the second game, you'd feel that on the back of their minds, we've got 3 points. Another 3 points was safely through to the next round. I think they will kick in. I think they will go in their motions against their opponents in the second game.
I still stand by Senegal. I think they have a very
You are standing by everybody
to win. I said it before.
You stand by General. You stand by the Super Eagles to win the AFCON. Now you stand by.
I said no. I didn't say they were going to win it. I said
you didn't say who.
I said
you didn't say which people were going to win.
I said Senegal should win this AFCON. I said it on the live now.
No. I said you mentioned that Super Eagles were going to win after the Egypt game. Did you say it on the live?
I said they have the higher chances to win.
You don't hang yourself,
guy. IBK, you don't stammer now.
Guy,
Guy,
I don't say they go win now. I said.
Stan was on that live. You said from what I've seen tonight. That's what you rap.
You
said from what I've seen tonight.
Don't you get emotional?
They are very. I think they can actually go all the way and they can win it.
I talk with my head.
Now emotions.
I talk with my head now.
So your head will not do that time.
Senegal. I think Senegal. The coach is still there. He understands his team very well. Like the game against Zimbabwe, it was just like the first game.
And they actually had some players missing as well.
If you saw that game, they dominated the game. They had their chances. And don't forget, they have...
Did Watford release him, Ismaila Sarr?
Ismaila Sarr played now.
Ismaila Sarr didn't play.
Another thing I wanted to say about... Yeah, quickly, just before we leave AFCON, how did Truss Ekong at Watford get the invitation early?
And Emmanuel Dennis.
They said it was. I think Emmanuel Dennis was not to be called up because of General. He had issues with General.
No, but it wasn't General that called the AFCON team.
It was
so they didn't send the letter early enough.
No, they would.
That's what Watford said.
That's what Watford said.
Before they release the AFCON list, they will have sent
letters,
mails to the club.
Yes. But that's not the one that will release the player. Hope you know. That's not the one that will release the player.
Just to prepare you that your player might be called up.
Okay.
But Watford didn't get any listen for Emmanuel Dennis. And he came in after they sacked the coach.
Actually,
I was seeing some, like one of our colleagues was saying that when he invited the 2 times he has invited Dennis, I think one of the first time he played Dennis. It's like he played about, let's say 5 minutes or 5 minutes, and Dennis came back to bash General that he can't be playing that kind of minutes.
It was even a friendly against Brazil.
I cannot be playing that number of minutes. Then General even say, okay, no wala. Then I think he invited him again and he played. I think he started that game or so. then maybe he substituted him or something.
And the guy walked past him.
He walked past him, was annoyed that why would you bring me out? Dennis, if you check his history, he has serious, even at Club Brugge, he has.
And it's probably a setup between himself and Watford.
And I also saw one video where he was saying that, what do you think about Spurs? And he said he's not even.
No, but that's fine. I don't think we miss him.
You know what? I don't.
Someone said that give him. By the time he goes 8 games without scoring
and that's always the thing.
That's
bad belly. No, when you put it like that, it is bad belly. But it's actually true. When you put it like that, bad belly. If left to me, if I have the power, I think you should keep scoring. I don't have a problem. Make your money.
And also remember that when you stop scoring to the country where they struggle for you, now they will forget you.
But guess what? I saw Yves Bissouma, the guy, he's from Mali. I saw him on the bench. I was like, I looked at the line. I was like, this coach, he be like, he don't smoke something. How can Yves Bissouma be sitting on the bench? When Yves Bissouma came on, it was his first appearance for Mali in 3 years. So he's been in the wilderness. Obviously, African players always have issues with their national team.
Hakim Ziyech. Hakim Ziyech just entered
it's
the
very
WhatsApp
strange
group
to me because
and now became admin.
Why doesn't it happen? Okay, it happens in Europe once in a while, but why do African players always have issues with their national team?
I think that it's very simple, right? African players have left the shores of Africa. They've gone abroad. They've seen how things are done. Our management and everything is very, very poor here.
Exactly.
And a lot of them don't want to get involved.
As much as that's true, As much as that's true, I also feel like there are some of the players who will be saying, "Now just big man syndrome." I don't go abroad. I don't get money. Who's this one that's talking to me? How much do you have?
Exactly.
I can be talking to me. You substituted me after 5 minutes. Something wrong with you. Do you know I can buy you and your family? And I can.
Exactly. It's a mindset. No, I agree because in the end,
they need to see it as it's a privilege to play for your country.
Exactly. What a lot of African players realize.
The setup in the country, they've not made it seem so. So that's the thing.
Bro,
you have to.
Do you know
you play for England? When you're done, you still earn pension.
Yeah, you do.
This guy
John Fashanu still earns.
You still
money,
earn
and he
pension.
played. I think just one game.
For the national team. So it's a thing of prestige. They know that when I play for the national team, and it's not about money. They don't play for money. When you play for national team, it's not for money. You don't play so that I can make money from it. You play because it's a pride.
The national team is not the business. It's the league that's the business.
Exactly.
You make your money in the league. When you come for the national team, it is for pride.
It's patriotism.
Yeah, it is.
The fact that, and it befuddles me how I see, for instance, let me take Nigeria, for instance. We're from a country of close to 200 million people.
Conservatively, because
I think we're more than that. And they choose you to be part of a 23-man squad. Come on, you should throw a party.
Yeah, but then
it's something that 23.
Do you see how those South Americans usually sit in front of the screen when they're about to and it doesn't matter how big they are. Richarlison plays in the Premier League. All these guys.
But for instance now, Brazil FA is properly run. See, bro.
No, I don't think Brazil FA is properly run.
I don't think you can't be prepping for a tournament, right? And they've not paid your allowances for the past 8 months.
No. I don't agree with you. Let me just say.
You can't be bailing us out to go to the Olympics.
I don't think it is because the FA is proper. I don't even think the Brazilian FA is so properly run much more than what we have here.
Of course.
I think it's the same setup. But I just feel like fundamentally, it goes beyond football in Brazil. It's a cultural thing
it's a tradition
that has been ingrained in the mindsets, in their blood.
That you must play for Brazil.
Football is actually like one of the religions in Brazil.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you play for the national team, it goes beyond, this organization. They have issues with
let's not also look past the issues we have.
No, I get you. Of course, these
are
underlying factors that really affect our football. And if you talk to every Super Eagles player, Leon Balogun gave an interview a while ago.
Blockbuster.
He was absolutely going through the motions. He was hitting hard. And you could see that that's a guy who's very committed to playing for the national team.
Yeah.
Of course, very
Not happy
committed.
about what's going on.
But he's not quite pleased with, obviously you want things to be better, but in the end, it's still your country. It's just like when you're living with your, growing up with your parents. You can't tell me that your father was the best one in the world at all time. But you still hold that respect of this is my father.
There's another school of thought. There's another school of thought. I remember, was it not Chinedu Basi or something
This
like that?
kid of thought, Bella go school.
If you can remember that guy, that guy said that when you are struggling, that's one thing about Nigerian national team.
They will abandon you.
When you are struggling, you start, they start sending you that Alpha, pay these amounts to get the national team.
Yeah.
Do this one to get the national team. You practically pay and you don't get called up. That's what he said.
Wow.
You do stuffs like, your agent talks to this coach, national team coach, might not be coached directly, I'm not saying this outrightly, I'm just saying
Do a lot of racketeering in the national team.
Racketeering.
But you know what my response...
That time you are struggling. So imagine, I'm sure Dennis would have, I'm sure his agents would have been practically begging to enter the national team. I'm very, very sure. So when you are now there,
you can't do guy for them.
yes, when you are now there,
I wanted to respond to that, but I don't think we should. I don't think we should drill. I wanted to respond to that, but I don't think we should drill. See, look, they have one. Do you know how many people are trying to play for the national team?
That's the point.
And guess what? The reason they are trying to play for the national team, some of them, at the time they are struggling, they know that they're not. Because I was going to say that if you are paying someone to get into the national team, that means you're at the point where you're not good enough. There are people that are better than you. But guess what? People want to play for the national team also because they need that thing because of the rule. Aside from endorsement, you can't get work permits in the Premier League if you don't have some cash, all those things. So that's why.
Let me make this point. When we're children, when we're in primary school, May 27, you remember no Children's Day now?
That was the first time I ever hosted an event.
Usually on that day, they will select children, some pupils from the school who are going to march at the stadium where the governor is going to be at this.
Yeah. It was a privilege.
Do you know how disappointed we used to be?
They don't pick you.
When they don't pick you.
Yeah, I agree.
When you think of representing your nation, that should be the feeling. Whether they treat you right, whether they don't treat you right, whether they pay you.
But I hope these kids now are feeling that same way.
Let's move away from AFCON. But a big shout out to Cameroon, by the way. I think, against all odds, they are doing a decent job.
Big shout out to Fali Pupa.
Yeah, absolutely.
My word. What a performance.
Love the performance. Please, let's stop it there. That waste. Make it don't kill you. Just stop it there.
What a performance. No, it's not a waste, but
you like the waste.
The guy has an ambience about him.
Big shout out to the Super Eagles as well.
He got into the stadium and he lit the place up.
Yeah,
but let's move on.
We're wishing the Super Eagles all the best. When we come and analyze, we're just trying to do our jobs. It's not like we don't want the Super Eagles to win. Please, and if you are coming from Ineobong, please come correct. You understand?
All right, guys. I'm a man that needs no introduction on this show. It remains the Inside Podcast. When it comes to talking sport, when it comes to talking football all around the world, you get the best information from this particular podcast. You can always join us online, on YouTube, on IG, anywhere online. You can always join. Even on Clubhouse, we're there for you to dish you the best information when it comes to sports all around the world. Stay tuned always.